Hello, my Simlies. Welcome to the Sim Life, the second best life there is. So I have a little bit of explaining to do on where I've been the past couple of weeks. So my neighbor's cat ended up giving birth, okay? And the mama abandoned the babies. There were 3 of them. The owners ended up having their house shot up, or their apartment shot up, and their window, there was holes in their window anyway. And they decided to pick up these little baby kittens, put them in a basket right next to one of the holes. In New Mexico, it is 40 degrees, sometimes during the day with a wind chill. Nighttime, we're looking at, in the 30s. And especially for a newborn kitty, that's just way too cold, right? Well, my husband went over there because he's good friends with the brother that's over there. It's his sister's apartment, but she allows the brother to stay there. Well, he was over there like talking about vehicles or whatever they do, and all of a sudden he started hearing little mumbles, little kitty meows. So he goes over. He finds one kitten that's black and white, or like a gray and white, and he tried to give it to the mama. The mama hissed at it, backed off, like made this face almost, and ran away. So he brought that one over to us because our kitty just had babies like 2 days before this. Well, I was able to get my mama kitty to go ahead and adopt that one. Don't worry, guys. They will be fixed. This was just... It's kind of a long story. But anyway. So he goes over the next day. And here's more mumble grumble meows. And they're very faint. Very, very, very faint. So he goes over. And there's 2 new babies. And they're even like... They're about half the size as the other one that he found. And they were pretty much almost frozen to death, you guys. Like, it was pretty cold that day. And you could tell that they had just been born maybe 6 or 7 hours before. They still had like some of the amniotic sac on it, and the umbilical cord was about this long. And so we picked them up, thought that they were dead, frozen, found out they weren't, so he put them inside of his shirt on his skin because it was really warm. Then he brought them back over here, back to us, and these guys were even smaller. And so what I did is, I don't think I have their heating pack in here, but I made this heating pack for when we have headaches. It's got rice in it. It's like it's one of my socks anyway. It's really long, has some rice in it. You pop it in the microwave and you can use it for like sore muscles or a headache or whatever. So I put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. So a minute is when we usually use it for a headache. So I figured about 30 seconds would be about right. And it was perfect. So what I ended up doing was placing like a light, thin blanket over it. And then I put the babies on top of it because we needed to get their cores warm. So we got their cores warm, and that's when we said, okay, we got to try and get these babies to eat because they haven't ate. Well, as we were trying to get them to latch onto Mama Kitty, that's when I noticed the one baby had, its paw was kind of like this, and you could tell it was deformed. And the back of his neck had like a hump on it. And we tried our absolute best. We went out and bought like this little infant bottle. We went and bought some baby kitten formula, and because the neighbor was like, I don't care whether they live or die, I don't want them to begin with. And apparently the litter that this cat had before, she was out of town and her brother didn't pay a bit of attention, and so a whole litter of 5 kittens died in that house. So um the so anyway, we were able to get the one baby. We ended up calling him Victor for like victory. So they, because you guys, if you guys would have seen these kitties, you would have assumed that they were dead. Okay, that's how bad of shape they were in. My mama kitty ended up cleaning them up and will, you know, stimulate them going to the bathroom and things like mamas are supposed to do. But she doesn't have the patience to help these little kittens, like wait for them to latch. So we thought we were feeding the other one, but apparently what we thought was going into his system was coming out of his mouth, because he didn't have the mechanism to swallow, and he ended up passing away yesterday, right in our arms. He was warm. We were able to take a syringe and kind of put a little bit of milk on his tongue so that we could try and save him. And there was just, he couldn't swallow. So when he passed away, we kind of felt around and his collarbone was like up in his neck to where it wasn't allowing him to swallow at all. But at the time, of course, we didn't know that. We were just, you know, trying to do our best to feed him like we could, because I've done this with a couple of other kittens. They weren't this small, but I mean, my mama kitty Chicken, she was the one that you guys remember I told you my husband found her in a box. Well, this is her litter. She's the one that adopted the other one, the little girl, actually. Well, little boy, the one passed away. But the other one I could get to latch and start to eat, but Chicken wouldn't hold still. She would see it, because we would have to move the bigger kitties out, because this little kitty, I'll show him to you, because I've actually got him right here. You could probably see his little paw. He's about half the size of her kitties. So they weren't allowing him to eat. And so we could get him to latch, but then when we would get him to latch and try and hold him there, she would get up and just leave him. So I kind of took to being this little baby's mama. I feed him, I stimulate him to go to the bathroom. When I'm feeding him, I heat up that same heating pack, and then I help him drink to where he drinks probably about between 5 and 9 milliliters every hour and a half. He's doing much better. He's gained his strength. He talks a lot. He purrs. He's doing really well, you guys. I have to carry him everywhere I go, which makes it hard because, as you can see, my other hand is here and I've only got one hand free. And so I got this hoodie off of that one Clawy game or whatever it is. And it's got like a little cat pocket in it. That's kind of what you're seeing is the pocket, because I have it open. But as you can see, and I'm open for names if you guys have any names. I've just been kind of calling him Thor because he's a fighter. But as you can see, he's really super tiny, you guys. From head to butt, he's about like this. So he's super, super tiny. You can kind of hear him meowing. So um, when I do get the chance, I've been sitting and editing. But 2 weeks ago was when my kitty ended up having her babies, and then last Sunday. Okay, so she had her babies like on Saturday last week. Not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. And these kitties were brought to me on Wednesday. But I think they went probably 3 days without eating. That's kind of my guess because, like, before I could feel his little spine through his back, and you could tell he was really, really weak. He couldn't even hold his own head up. But so this little guy has kind of imprinted on me, like baby birds will imprint on the mom. Thor won't let anybody feed him. They'll hold him and everything, but he's always whining for me. So, and you can hear Pithy. She's hearing the kitties meow below me. So it's been kind of hard for me to play and record because I need both my hands to be able to hit buttons on my keyboard and I can use my mouse and everything, but I need my other hand just to be able to operate some of the controls. And obviously I can't do it because I have to hold up little Thor here. If you guys have a better name, I am definitely open to it. If you guys want me to do updates on how he's doing and how I'm able to feed him, because it's definitely, I would say 3 days old, 4 days old, because his eyes aren't even open yet. Right now he's asleep, he's purring. But if you guys are interested in watching me feed him and help him go potty, and obviously right now he's asleep, but he loves to cuddle up here by my neck, or like sometimes I don't have the hoodie on and he'll cuddle right up right here on my chest because he likes to hear my heartbeat. And I've gotten to where I'll even sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to him. He loves it. Of course, you guys know I sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat to my bird to get her to go to bed. So I've been trying to take care of him and making sure that he survives. Because his brother didn't. We tried our best. It didn't work out. We put him in a little box, obviously, and we did bury him. Or we're going to bury him. We haven't buried him yet. But we're going to bury him, and we're just glad that he's not suffering anymore. And because he couldn't even walk, the way that his collarbone was, like one was down here and the other one was like up here in his throat. So the poor little thing didn't have a chance. We did try. But of course, with it being Thanksgiving weekend, none of the places were open. They actually opened up today, but that little one passed away. And this one, he's gained quite a bit of weight. I weighed him. When he first came, he was only like an ounce and a half, maybe. And he's up to 3.2 ounces. So that's pretty big for a little kitty his size. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of rotate the camera down so that you can kind of see him. He's, I guess, what you would call a tuxedo. So as you can see the size of my hand compared to him. This is his head, and he's kind of curled up right now, but he's got white little paws, and he has, the black comes down his nose like a little blaze, and then he's got white cheeks and a white belly. His tail is kind of gray. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's whining at me. And you can see this is a little cat thing. Like, they could poke, when he gets a little bigger, he can poke his head through there. I just figured it would be easier this way, because this way I can keep him warm and I can stay warm too. So, anyway, let me put my camera back up. If you guys are interested in his journey and how everything's going with him, definitely let me down below. Let me know down below. And if you guys have any names, definitely comment down below as well, because I'm open to names. I mean, obviously, I named my other cat Chicken, so that kind of, like I said, I was gonna kind of call him Thor, but I don't know, something just doesn't fit right with him. So, anyway, I'm hoping that I can get this next episode of the Not So Berry Challenge up so that you guys can see it. A lot has happened, you guys. A lot has happened. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Have a beautiful day, evening, night, whatever it is where you are. And I will see you guys in the next Sim World. Bye, guys.